Hello, welcome to this week's video. Big thank you to everyone that tuned in last week and the week before and the week before. You know, they're all getting some views and they're getting some likes, and big thank you to everyone. Much appreciated. If you haven't already, please hit subscribe, hit like. I think we're at 29 subscribers. So all I need is one person to hit subscribe and I'll be on 30 subscribers, and I'll be well happy with that. Now, this week I'm going to talk about 5 things that I would tell my young athlete self. Now, for those that are wondering, the thumbnail of this video, yes, that is me on the front cover, and it is me running without any spikes or trainers. So perhaps the first thing I should tell myself as a young athlete is, please wear some trainers or some spikes when you're running, because running in bare feet is not the best thing to do. But what I was doing then is I was running at school on my grass track in the 1990s. So I suppose it's probably okay, and I thought it was quite cool. But less about that and more about today's topic. So 5 things I would tell my young athlete self. Number 1, work hard. Don't be lazy. Don't give up on a session halfway through, or slow down, or just make up some kind of injury because you don't want to finish the session. There is no substitute for hard work. What you put in is what you get out. Okay, and I know that now from all my years experience in athletics as a coach and as an athlete, that if you don't put the hard work in, you probably won't get out what you want. Okay, you might have the most talent in the world, but if you don't put the hard work in, it's not going to happen. So that would be my first tip, or things I would tell my young athlete self: work hard. Second one would be realistic. Don't think you're better than you are. Now, probably when I was younger, yeah, I was quite talented as a sprinter, especially as a very young sprinter. But maybe that was because I was bigger than some of the other athletes. I hit puberty early, and I was a bit taller, a bit stronger, and I was faster. Okay, so obviously, I won quite a few medals and bits and pieces as I was growing up, especially as an under 13, as an under 15. But then other athletes started to get bigger and stronger and quicker, and I still thought I was kind of better than I was. And looking back on it now, I probably could have not been as cocky, or as, whatever I want to call it. But yeah, I would say to myself, Pete, just be realistic. You're going to be okay club athlete, you're going to do okay at county level, but unless you put the work in or something drastically changes, you're never going to be a national or international athlete. So yeah, that would be number 2 thing that I would tell my young self, is be realistic. Number 3 would be to say, make the most of every opportunity you get in athletics. Okay, we are so lucky in the sport to be able to do lots of different things and compete, all around the country, and even abroad. So I would say to my younger self, just make the most of every opportunity. Don't waste any opportunity. And to be honest, I probably didn't waste many opportunities. I did travel around the country. I went to Birmingham. I went to that's probably the furthest I went, was Birmingham, Glasgow, all different, Belgium, all different places. I did take the opportunities, but if I was, back where I was 20 years, 30 years ago, I'd definitely say, just Pete, make the most of every opportunity you get, because if you work hard, you're realistic, everything will come along. Just make the most of every opportunity you get. So that'd be my advice number 3 to any young athlete, and myself now, is make the most of every opportunity. Now, number 4, it's always a difficult one, this one, but don't get too hung up on times, personal bests, and this is kind of a double-edged one, don't compare yourself to others. Okay, and I was really bad at this, I can tell you my PBs. I ran 11.5.3 and 25.3 and 52.6 for my 100, 200 and 400. Okay, and I'm proud of them now, but I was always trying to kind of beat them and do better. And then I was looking at other athletes that I was probably beating when I was younger, and they're doing really well and I'm not doing so well. And like, I was always comparing myself to other people, and you don't need to do that, because you're yourself. You can't control what other people do. You can only control what I do or what you do. So as an athlete, or as a young athlete, I would say to myself, don't get hung up about your times, okay? Just go train hard, work for it. The times will come, but don't get too hung up on times, and don't get hung up about other people. So many times I've heard it, and I've done it myself. Parents have said to me, oh, so-and-so's running this time, so-and-so's running that time. It doesn't matter, okay? You really can't control what other people run and what other people do. Especially as a young athlete, everyone develops differently. Like I said, I was quite an early developer, so I was ahead of the game, in the early years. But then people caught up with me, and they ran faster than me. I was fairly tall for my age as an under 13 in year 7, and by the time I was in year 11, under 17, people were taller than me, bigger than me, stronger than me, faster than me. So you just kind of have to be. I guess it's again like being realistic. Just do. If you know that you've put everything into what you can do, you can't do any more, then you should be happy with that, okay? And don't get hung up about what other people do, because it's not worth it. I know it's difficult to say, but really you can't control what other people do. Okay, so that is tip number 4. Now, the final one, tip number 5. And this goes back to my coaching ethos, which I talked about in episode 1, is have fun and enjoy the journey. Okay? Too many times I've seen people, take everything too seriously and, train, medals, times. And I've seen young athletes not enjoy what they're doing. And it really, really upsets me when I see that. Okay? Now, as a coach, I like my athletes to work hard, and I want them to do what I tell them to do, but I also need to make sure that they're having fun. So, going back to what I would tell myself as a young athlete, have fun, enjoy yourself, make lots of friends, which I've done. I've got so many friends now, which are from athletics, people that I would not have met if I hadn't taken up the sport. But fundamentally, we need to make sure that our young athletes and all athletes of all ages have fun and enjoy the journey. Because if you're not enjoying what you do, and you don't like athletics, or you feel like you're doing it for someone else, then it really isn't kind of what you should be doing. It's all about yourself, making yourself happy and having fun. I still do love, and I still probably think I can go and compete, but I am more realistic now, and I know that I'm never going to run the times I used to run, even in long distance running, which I've done in the last few years. So, yeah, make sure you enjoy yourself. Be a little bit less stressful, and this is all about running this time and running that time. Have fun, enjoy the journey, make friends, have a laugh. Yeah, if you can do all the 5 things that I've said, you're going to have a brilliant time in athletics. And parents, you guys need to think about this as well. Okay, think about your children. Are they enjoying themselves? Is it what they want to do? If they say they want to try a new event, I don't know, they might want to try race walking or throwing, or something they don't usually do. Give them the opportunity. Let them have a go at it. And you might find they're brilliant at it and they really enjoy it, and they might go on to represent Great Britain in the Olympics. You just don't know. Okay, so really, please take on board everything I've said today. Okay, so let's just recap the 5 things I would tell my young athlete self. Number 1, work hard. Number 2, be realistic. Number 3, make the most of every opportunity you get. Number 4, don't get hung up on times or compare yourself to anyone else. And number 5, most importantly, have fun and enjoy the journey. Okay, nice short episode today, just under 10 minutes. If you've liked what I've said, please hit the like button, please subscribe, and I'll be back next week with another video. Okay, have a good week, everyone. Take care. Bye.